This is amazing as the Boston Celtics continue to impress us with getting a big time win versus the Washington Wizards, but not with just that. Having players like Peyton Pritchard stand out once again, but Luke Cornett, the underground center, being one of the big staples for the Celtics win as he got a career high in rebounds as well. We're going to be looking at all of those players and their successes fitting into Joe Mazzulla's offense. We're also looking at a little bit of a Kristaps Porziņģis injury update as he left the game early as well. We'll be breaking all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. Without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And this was amazing to see, as I said in the introduction, as the Boston Celtics got a big time win versus the Washington Wizards, a team that they've already beaten in this season twice already. But it's nice to see the Celtics getting these wins versus the latter half of the Eastern Conference and winning both of those games that they got scheduled versus the Pistons and versus the Wizards for not making the NBA Cup playoffs. Even though the Celtics fans are definitely disappointed, including myself, that we're not going to be able to see the Celtics in Vegas. Some much needed rest and some much needed easy games to kind of get them into the flow of stuff is key for some Celtics success and bringing all of us a nice, happy Sunday afternoon when the Patriots ultimately bring us despair. But let's dive in and let's look at this. Like I mentioned, the Celtics came out and beat the Washington Wizards 112-98, and the Wizards did come back a little bit in this second half. The third quarter, they did look solid. The Celtics closed them out a little bit, and then the Celtics obviously went with the lower end of the rotation later in the fourth. The Celtics, in this team stat category, dominated in everything. They outshot the Wizards in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, out rebounded them, had more assists, had more steals, had more blocks. The only thing that the Wizards did better than the Boston Celtics was one, have less turnovers, and two, also had more points in the paint compared to the Celtics. But if we want to look at this Celtics team, we can see it was a combined effort from a lot of people in tonight's matchup. We obviously see starring Jayson Tatum absolutely ball out for the Celtics, and some players in the starting lineup look very solid as well, as we all expect the Celtics to kind of handle themselves versus the Washington Wizards. The one player who did not play tonight for the Celtics was Al Horford, as he was out for rest, but the Celtics did go deep into their bench, like I mentioned, and we saw some big time performances. One from Peyton Pritchard, who has been continuing to impress Celtics fans, but another in Luke Cornett and Sam Hauser as well, which is just key to see the Celtics having these bench guys really deliver and really come through when the Celtics need it. We saw Jaylen Brown at Media Day kind of maybe tease some jokes, but did say that versus teams like the Wizards and the Pistons, we expect players like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser to be able to go off and win us those games. And he was not lying, ladies and gentlemen. As we've seen in these recent contests, some of those Celtics players kind of take some of these nights off and kind of just let the role players cook. And I don't even want to say role players because they're better than role players at this point. But Peyton Pritchard, one of the main candidates for Sixth Man of the Year, if not the front runner for Sixth Man of the Year, has had just perfect games for the Celtics being off the bench. And once again tonight had another 5 3-point game for the Celtics, just shattering records left and right. But a guy that I do want to talk about that I did not talk about in the last game versus the Pistons that also excelled is Luke Cornett, as he has been one of the unsung heroes for the Celtics so far this year. We saw Cornett get some early run with the starting lineup early as the preseason, when he was playing as the starting center when they took on the teams in Abu Dhabi in the Denver Nuggets. And Luke Cornett looked solid in that role, and we saw through the preseason and stuff like that, Luke was getting that starting center run, which was cool to see, as he was that fundamental center that Joe trusted, and he realistically could do everything the Celtics needed. He could go out and get some rebounds, he could set some nice picks, he could make the right pass, and was best suited for the Celtics and finding finding the stars and other players like Derrick White and Jrue Holiday the ball to succeed and score. And Luke Cornett kind of fell out of that starting job when Neemias Queta started to kind of arise as that electrifying offensive big and athletic big for the Celtics. But the Celtics have kind of resorted into switching in between depending on the matchups. And tonight, Cornett was that guy. Like I mentioned, versus the Pistons, he also had a fantastic game. But in tonight's contest, Cornett, like I mentioned, had a career high in season high in rebounds, and 11 rebounds. He also finished the night at a plus 20 and was just making the right plays for the Celtics. He hit a little bit of some funny shots as well. I know he attempted a fadeaway and was doing some cool stuff, but Luke Cornett, one of those guys that we all know as one of those meme funny guys for the Celtics, but like I said, has been a really solid contributor. He's on a veteran minimum contract, and if players like Luke Cornett can step up and have games, I know it's versus the Washington Wizards, but some games against versus some of these lesser teams, it's one key to show that these role players can step up and deliver when the lights are shining bright in the playoffs when they are needed most. But also, it shows to the Boston Celtics that some of these players not necessarily need to take a night off, but can play with a little bit less of a strain on themselves and having to work so hard to get themselves injured in the stars and Brown and Tatum. They can kind of relax knowing that they have the guys like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, and Luke Cornett to be able to help out and score for them. I also want to mention Sam Hauser as well, as he was cash money as well for the Celtics tonight and was a plus 27 on the floor. And these are the key things that we like to see. We know, obviously, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, two of the best two-way wings in the NBA. Jrue Holiday and Derrick White are absolutely fantastic. Jrue Holiday, super solid on the defensive side, can help out the Celtics on the offense when needed. Derrick White has been super clutch for the Celtics in the fourth quarter. Al Horford is that veteran that we have for this team. Peyton Pritchard's been that sixth man, but it's really cool to see guys like Sam Hauser, like Luke Cornett, even guys like Neemias Queta, when their number is called, to step up and deliver for the Celtics team, to really pop out and make those big time plays. And when they do it, it just makes you realize how much this team is, how stacked this team is, and how much they are ready to go to compete for another championship. Like I said, fantastic game from the Celtics tonight. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Luke Cornett, the Boston Celtics overall win as well. But let's get into some more news. I don't have a chapter for it, but I do want to give an update as well regarding the Celtics, as even though it was a big time win, unfortunately for the Celtics, we did see this come up as Kristaps Porziņģis, who did start the game and did play, left early due to some heel pain, and he was seen leaving the game, was questionable to return, did not return for the Boston Celtics in this contest. But we do have a little bit of an injury update following that. Bobby Manning here said that Joe Mazzulla at the press conference said he hadn't heard anything about Porzingis' status as yet, but he was in good spirits in the locker room. Hopefully just a little bit of a tweak. Hopefully Kristaps Porzingis didn't hurt anything, just felt some pain, was extra precautionary, wanted to be taken out, and obviously with the Celtics wanting to keep Kristaps Porzingis fully healthy and ready to go after going away with his last foot injury, they are going to make sure they take this with 100% care. So hopefully it's nothing major. We'll have some more updates regarding that Kristaps Porzingis injury as well as we get closer and closer towards the next game on Tuesday versus the Chicago Bulls. So if there is any updates regarding that, you will see that on a video tomorrow or in the next coming days. But I just wanted to let you guys know about that information as well. But like I said, Celtics get a big time win versus the Wizards. They got a little bit of an easy schedule coming up over the next couple games, taking on some Eastern Conference opponents, so it should be fun. Their next contest is on Tuesday when they take on the Chicago Bulls. So it should be a fun, exciting one for all of us. Like I said, we'll have a post-game video breaking it down for that. We'll have a live stream on Tuesday before the game from 5 to 6 o'clock or 6 to 7 o'clock to kind of go over some stuff as well. But like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.